Senator, what significance do you read into the Beam defeat in New York? Political significance?
Well, just that more people voted for John Lindsay than AB.
Are you, Senator?
I haven't worked out my plans yet.
Are you disappointed, sir, that President Johnson did not come forward with more vociferous support of Mr. Beam?
No, he was very vigorous and energetic for Mr. Beam.
So you discount those press reports that the president was not...
Well, they must be, if that's the report out here, it's inaccurate, because he was very energetic.
What will the election of...
With Mr. McCone tonight,
I'm staying with Mr.
can we presume that you will discuss Watts with him?
I expect I shall. It's a matter that's of interest to me, as obviously it is to him.
What do you think of Mr. Lindsay's presidential possibilities now, Senator, in the wake of his victory in New York?
Well, I think he's always been a bright, energetic, articulate figure in political life of the United States.
Do you think his chances are enhanced considerably or substantially by his...
I just don't know that.
What does his election do to politics in New York, Senator?
Well, it doesn't help the Democratic Party a great deal.
What about the Republicans?
I would think that probably it gives a major lift to the Republican Party in the city of New York, the state of New York, and across the country.
Welcome, Senator.
Senator, what are you doing in town, if we may ask?
Mr. Kennedy, please. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to speak at the University of Southern California, and I'm going to speak tomorrow at noon at the town meeting, and then I'm going to speak tomorrow night for some Democrats.
Do your plans include a meeting with Princess Margaret while you're here?
No, they don't. In what way do you mean?
Well, will he bear some impact up there? More than...
yeah, I expect it depends on how he gets along with Governor Rockefeller.
You say that the Republican chances or the Republican Party looks better. Does that mean then that the Democratic Party looks worse in New York because of this defeat? Are you in any real trouble there?
No, we've had a few problems for a considerable period of time. I expect those reports have reached here.
Yes, they
so,
have.
And I think that the defeat of the candidate for the Democratic Party certainly doesn't improve the situation. I think we're going to have problems in the Democratic Party, particularly within the city of New York, which is split for a period of time in the future. I hope that we become more united. I hope that we are able to support the kinds of candidates that will appeal to the people of the city of New York. I don't think that's been done as much as it should have been in the past.
Do you have any comments on Watts, Senator, the riot and this afternoon?
I made some comments shortly afterwards. I have nothing to add to that.
Senator Bob Novak, in his column Monday, spoke of troubles in California over your appearance at the dinner tomorrow night, a struggle between Mr. Unruh and between the Congressmen Brown and Roybal. Would you comment on that?
Well, I don't. I'm not familiar with them.
Is there a struggle for you?
I don't know. I haven't found it.
Do you agree with Governor Rockefeller that the Kennedys are on a collision course with Lindsay?
No.
Do you see yourself emerging now as the leader of the Democratic Party?
I keep reading in the paper about every week that I've emerged as a leader, and then suddenly 2 weeks later they say I finally emerged as a leader of the Democratic Party. So I don't know what happens to me in the interim period.
Are you willing to accept the mantle of leadership?
No, I think there are a lot of people who are going to take some leadership and direction in the Democratic Party, of which I'm just one.
Will you make a major effort to unite the party now?
I'll join with anybody else that if we can. Yes.
Senator, do you feel that the 89th Congress had its arm twisted from the White House?
No.
Are you satisfied with the session and the bills that were passed?
Yes, I think it was an extraordinarily fine session. I think there's unfinished business, but I think that a great deal was accomplished.
This was your first one. How do you feel about your participation in it?
Well, I was happy to be, pleased to be a part of it.
Senator, how do you explain the seeming weakness of labor in this Congress, the greatest Democratic Congress since FDR? For instance, in the 14
No, but well, of course, I think that's just one situation. But the fact is that I think labor and the members of labor unions and those who are interested in those who work throughout the country, we were strongly in favor of almost every every bill that was passed by Congress, whether it was Medicare, whether it was federal aid to education, whether it was what was done with housing, whether it was the immigration law. Labor was strongly behind those measures, and I think had a material effect in their passage.
Well, I had reference to 14.
Well, I don't think everything was passed, and we didn't pass a minimum wage bill either, for instance. But
did the president push hard enough?
I think he made an effort a real effort to try to pass.
Do you
14
feel that because labor did not do well, it might hurt the Democratic
I don't think it
chances?
did. I think that they did very, as I say, I think they were strongly in favor of these measures as they have been for some period of time. And so I think that they played a very instrumental role in the passage of those bills, which have been considered for some extended period of time in the past.
You feel the president then did substantially discharge his obligation to labor in the matter of 14B?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. I think that he was interested in 14B and the repeal of 14B, and he made an effort.
Senator, do you have any comment on Proposition 14, which was passed in California, which made it impossible for fair housing?
I'm not familiar with
How do you
it.
interpret the tremendous Negro support? Lindsay and Republicans.
I don't think the Democrats made the kind of effort in areas of the city that should have been made.
Senator Barry Goldwater said your brother's trip to Vietnam, that Ted would not know one end of a gun from another. Would you comment on Senator Goldwater's comment?
No, I think, of course, Senator Kennedy was in the. My younger brother was in the Army for 2 years, and but I haven't come to expect much more from Senator Goldwater.
He was also critical, of course, of McNamara. Would you comment on that?
Well, I think Secretary McNamara is a close friend of mine, personal friend. I think has performed one of the outstanding services for the public in this country.
Senator, how long will you be in town?
Oh, at least tomorrow.
Thank you very much,
Fine.
sir.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
One final question. We got here a bit late.